Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Drawing with Michael. I am, of course, your host, Michael. Today, we're continuing on our quest to do 31 characters from the Harry Potter series. Today, I'll be doing Snape, Severus Snape. So today I'm working on the gray-toned Strathmore paper. You guys have seen me use this before, but if there's ever any question, this is what it looks like. This is the toned tan paper, and it's really great, you know, for doing pretty much any kind of drawing on, and it's got a really nice tooth to it, and it being toned, it gives you a nice mid-tone to bring out your lights and darks. So this being gray, it's a little bit cooler. And I know Snape is kind of in that cool spectrum. He's so cool. I'm going to be using the Koh-i-Noor Carmine Red Progresso woodless colored pencil for this particular character. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the festivities for Inktober. I really didn't want to do it this year, just because I've got so much going on, so much work, but you know, at the end of the day, it's one of those deals where I'm already drawing every day, so why not do a, a video and kind of inspire those people who have struggled with this particular venture to possibly come out with something really cool. So his ears over here. Snape, who is he? If I remember correctly, he's kind of the potions teacher at Hogwarts. And, you know, I also, you know, if I remember correctly, the Half-Blood Prince. I enjoyed the movies. I wish, you know, at some point in time, not wish, I think at some point in time I'm going to really have to read the books, because that's where all the good stuff happens. And I'm aware of this. You know, we don't ever rely upon movies for complete interpretation. That's not a good idea. So that's kind of where I'm at. I haven't had a lot of people watch my videos recently. I mean, I made a video, it's kind of funny, I made a video about a piece of software that I used called Fresco, and I did have quite a bit of people watch that video. But on the whole, I really don't have a lot of people watch my videos. You know, it ranges pretty much, you know, under 200 per video, which, you know, I guess is fine for now. It's been that way for a while. I'd like to get a little bit more, you know, to be able to use the videos a little bit more effectively as a teaching tool, and then eventually, you know, possibly monetize and, you know, earn the funds to be able to actually pay for the videos, because, you know, you want to be able to do that and, you know, be able to make better videos. Anyway, now that I've probably irritated half of you with my pitch to share and subscribe, you know, I remember watching videos and hearing people doing that, and I'm like, dude, just freaking make the video. So that's what I'll do. I'll just freaking make the video for you guys. So I started out with my general circle, and I'm always thinking in terms of 3D. Now Snape's head, this is actually too short. It's a little bit longer, and he's got a gaunt nature to him. Gaunt being, you know, thin, long, you know, even Richter, who played Snape in the movies, he's got a gaunt kind of a you know, villain nature to him. So, which, by the way, Alan Richter was, you know, an absolutely fantastic actor. Passed away, you know, recently. In my opinion, way before his time. He still had tons of incredible characters inside of him, you know, waiting to disturb and come out. I originally, you know, remember seeing Alan Richter in Die Hard, and it was always, he's always one of those characters that was just absolutely phenomenal when it came to his portrayal, you know, of the antagonist character, and that's kind of what this character is. He does help Harry in some respect, but in other respects, I think that you know, having that evilness is definitely something that was inside of Alan, and you know, to create a character such as this and to portray him effectively in the movies was definitely something that, you know, Alan did very well. So as I progress through, what I'm basically doing is I'm redefining. I told somebody last night in terms of how to create, you know, that 3/4 view, which typically is one of the harder views to do in, you know, in drawing in general. It's just one of those deals where it just takes some practice. Let's get this eye line in there. It just takes a look at this, like he's had a broken nose once or twice. It just takes a little bit of practice, and eventually, you know, you'll find your way to be able to, you know, create the characters effectively. But I saw some real breakthrough with my students and their artwork and their sketch time, and, you know, just looking at their sketchbooks, and some people are really taking it to the next level, which makes my heart happy. You know, when I was in school, even though I tried my hardest, I think that, you know, looking back on it, especially now knowing everything that I know about the industry, I don't think I tried hard enough, right? You know, hindsight's always 20/20. You look back and you're like, now I have, you know, I have a little bit of context, I have perception. I can basically look at all the things I did and kind of question, and it's not necessarily a healthy thing to do, but what I do now as an adult, I definitely think of the long-term ramifications of what, you know, I'm doing, and definitely think, you know, how it's going to affect me. Get this hair come down just a little bit. Get the shoulder comes here. I've got this potion right here. We've got the liquid kind of spilling out just a little bit. So this mouth come around. I'm going to have this nose kind of come to a point just a little bit. You know, certain character cues that, you know, you need to keep in mind, especially whenever you have established characters such as these. You don't want to deviate too far from the character norm. Now, obviously, there's going to be interpretation with every single person that does a character like this, but there is a quote-unquote, you know, character norm that you really have to think about. Now, you can work inside of that character norm, but you don't want to deviate too far from it. You know, Snape having long hair, Snape dressing in black, Snape having pointed features, Snape being a villain, Snape, you know, all these things you have to really, even right now, I'm having to go back and refine some of my shape language just because he's getting a little soft, and I don't want him to be soft. You know, Snape is a villain, or at least, you know, he is perceived to be a villain. You just kind of question. I remember watching the movies and I'm thinking, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he somebody I can trust? Is he, you know, and of course, you know, we all know what happened in the end and what he did eventually to help spur Harry on, and so that's kind of my deal. So the hair it's black. So instead of just going in and just doing all this, right, what I'm going to do, it's just a shape. And I've got this to kind of come up and shape him around. And I got this other shoulder that comes around here. I don't want to mess up my, come here, I don't want to mess up my silhouette. That silhouette being the shape of an object on your paper that kind of tells exactly what it is, and that easy read, right? You know, we think of, in terms of silhouette, one of the examples I give a lot is Indiana Jones and how powerful his silhouette is. Whenever you think of it, you know, I could say, what is Indiana Jones' silhouette? And you're going to go, well, it's him in the hat. And that's exactly right. You know, it's an easy read. It's something, the instantaneous you see it, you say, that's Indiana Jones. You know, Chewbacca. Darth Vader has a very definitive silhouette. And, you know, these are the language that, man, I've got a bug. I've got a little gnat. You ever get a gnat that just keeps going in my face, it's going in my mouth, it's going up my nose, it's going in my ears. It's driving me mad, man. Right now, in the mountains, it is fall. I'm not really sure why the little gnats are out, but it's really ticking me off, man. Drawing his hand in, he's gonna, right? I think this finger's too big, so we're gonna have it kind of go like this. This finger comes up, knuckle. And it's gonna go over. And then we're gonna have this one kind of right next to it. Up, over. Potion spilling out. Here's his shoulder. Right, it's gonna come up, it's gonna come down. Here's his neck area. I want it to define that line. Here's the back of his head. Here's the other part of his neck that you can't see. It's behind, but it gives me a little bit better reference points to where I can draw his collar, even though I can't see it because it's behind his hair. It's going to come up, right, and then this is going to come down, and here's that shoulder right here, and I can color this in, right. Okay. Bugs. Irritating the you-know-what out of me. Okay, so where are we at time-wise? We are right at about 13 minutes. That's not too bad to get the base sketch in. Okay, put a little shading in here and there. Right, I'm going to color this in. Here's his shoulder. Here's his hand. Right. His thumb comes around. You can't really see it. Maybe it's grasping, hoping to grasp. Pointed. I can have like pointed fingers. Okay. Professor Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Every time I think of Snape, I think of Alan Richter's wonderful, wonderful voice. His voice was, oh, so wonderful. You know, eventually, you know, I keep telling myself this, but my art career kind of gets in the way of my endeavors to be a voice actor. I've always wanted to be a voice actor. You know, doing voices, and you know, not that I have an ability to do voices, I've just been able to emulate existing voices, you know, Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and every time I hear something, you know, if it's new, I'll typically try to emulate it. And I just, you know, I love doing voices in general. And eventually, maybe one day, you know, I'll be able to do that professionally. We don't know. there's always stages, so we have that little bit of baggage on the side. I did, a friend of mine, a buddy of mine that I used to work with, I did the Joker. I recorded a Joker for him, and he really enjoys that. You know, I'll call people and I'll leave messages as different characters, and you know, because I've got many characters in my head when I draw, so it just, you know, it's kind of a natural progression to want to do that. So I'm going to put this down. I used a pen yesterday that was a little bit thinner, so I'm going to basically, let's see here, move this out of the way. I think this is it right here. Yeah. So this has a nice broad line to it. That I think will really help in creating, you know, the ink for this. So we've got right. I notice a lot of times, you know, whenever students are doing, you know, ink work and whatever, it tends to lose that life that makes your drawing so wonderful. I encourage you to endeavor to keep the life in your drawing. I'm the first one to say that my drawing is stronger than my inking. You know, it's taken me a long time to accept that, because every single time I used to draw something in class, my teacher would be like, you know what, now that you've done the final, now that you've done the inking, it's lost. Your drawing, your strong drawing is now gone because you've covered it up by a weak ink drawing. And even to this day, I can still hear one of my teachers saying that. So, you know, to solve that equation in college, what I used to do is, and this is before, you know, I really had an understanding, an inkling, and an ability to really go into Photoshop and manipulate things. I used to take my drawing, here I'll actually show you if I can. I've got one of the originals. Whoops. Excuse me. I used to take my original drawing, and you have to understand, this is, you know, 20 years old. So a lot of the color has been, you know, dismissed and disseminated and really gone. But I used to print right on to Canson toned paper my drawing from the computer, and then I would just color that in. So my drawing was preserved. And trying to find, you know, here's some other ones, you know, here's another one. So these are 20 years old, and you can see the drawing is there. You know, I adjusted the levels a little bit, and then I would just color pencil right in. So for those of you who are having, excuse me, some issues with developing your technique to get that line work in there, maybe that's a solution, right? I'm still trying to find my solution, even after all these years, right? Trying to find that correct solution to try and get my drawing into. Nowadays, I just want to go right in and draw. A little eye shine in there. Maybe have this brow come down. Right? Here's that other hair piece that comes around. Around. This is a very nice pen. It's got a great brush quality to it. Got this at Hobby Lobby. I'm sure you can get them at Jet Pens or Michael's. I don't think I've ever seen them at Michael's art store. Dick Blick probably has them. Ugh. I have a callus. I don't know if you guys have this. Not that I want to gross you out or anything, but I've had a callus on my finger for drawing. It's quite large if you look. Let me see. If you look, you can see the difference between this finger and this finger. This finger has that raised callus right there. And I hit the callus, and since it's been there for a while, even though it was thicker skin, it kind of got damaged. And what happens is, now that I put my pencil on it, I keep hitting it. It's causing me pain, It hurts. So I have some of these hair pieces come down, right? On that side and this side, I have the hair pieces come down, right? I have this hair come down here, and it's kind of a greasy, not greasy, kind of, I don't know, thicker, thinner. Talked a little bit about line weight. So the bottom of the nose is going to have a thicker line to it because it that shadow comes underneath and it gives nice weight to it. So this is going to come around, and then I've got that thicker line that basically defines this side here, and then it's going to be really thick on the bottom here. Okay, and then I come here, right? These little, I just gotta, I look at Snape and I think priest, right? Kind of like an evil priest. But then there's there's a nature to him that, in the context of what I saw in the movies, because of course, again, I haven't read the books, and I'm probably going to eventually because I have to. He's got a goodness to him somewhere in there. Either that, or that's the whole dichotomy of the character. You have that struggle between good and evil, and that duty, of what he has to do. Right? Comes down like this. Got his robe, tunic. Believe it or not, I'm sitting here and I'm doing this and I'm thinking, what is that added funny element? Because I'm always thinking, in terms of funny element, what I can add to kind of give it, that tongue-in-cheek, right? What I really want to do is I want to give a little umbrella right here, a little umbrella, but it's so outside of the character context. I think it would be so distracting, like he's got his little drink and he's got his umbrella, right? That would be funny. So maybe I'll have some little bubbles, because maybe he's got a potion that he's developing, right? Have this come down. I'll take my marker here in just a second. He's not old. Snape is not old, so I don't want to put too many details in. In terms of really developing that look for age. He's just got a quality to him, right? That quality. Half-blood prince. So here, we'll come here. Here. Okay. Maybe I'll do this. And here's where that cut off, and then I'll just color all this in because that's in shadow. That's the inner part of his hair, right? To help push that face forward a little bit. You know, and then I can go back in and kind of, you know, a little highlight right there because it's, the whole thing's not in shadow. And this hair comes here, maybe kind of squigglies out. He's got some squigglies that come down and about. You know, I'm going to push this little shadow, I'm sorry, the shadow and the highlight, little highlight right there, and then right here. You know, I'm starting to look at that. I'm like, you know what? I need to go ahead and put all that in shadow. It helps push that face forward a little bit. I'm not going in and doing a full, like, rendered inking. There you go, the glass. A little more detail here and there. I think that's pretty much where we're going to land. I think that's pretty much it today. I can't erase, so maybe I'll put a little bit of gray in, possibly. Maybe that'll help. I've got a bunch of reflections. I don't like that, so let's do this. There we go. Maybe I'll go in and color this hair. Not color this hair, fill in this hair a little bit to kind of give him that dark look. He's got his dark outfit down here, right? He's got his tunic and his cloak on, or whatever you want to call that thing. I think I need to go to the art store again and get more markers. You know, believe it or not, the more that I'm doing this, I really need to go in and just color in his hair. Not color in, fill in his hair. I'll probably end up using, let's see, I've got a black. Let's see what happens. Yeah, see what's happening right now? And this is something that you need to be aware of, especially when using the Koh-i-Noor. It's made of wax. Okay, if you fill in the paper, that's why I didn't want to do a lot of shadowing. If you fill in the paper and you put an alcohol base, which is what this is, an alcohol base marker, and you put it on the wax, wax repels water. Wax repels any type of liquid. So you need to understand that it's going to be harder for you to get stuff in the paper just because that wax is going to repel what you're trying to put on it. So that's kind of the issue that I'm running into right now. So that being said, I'm not going to go in because what I feel is going to happen is I'm just going to start destroying. I'm going to destroy this piece if I continue on, and I don't want to destroy the piece. So let's go ahead and I'll color this in right here. Color fill in, excuse me, because black is not a color. It is a value. Okay. Do this. Help this fill. Yeah, you can see it. It's not being soaked into the paper. So if I run my hand over it, it'll end up getting right on my hand, and I don't want to do that. So that's just one of the things as you guys progress through what you're doing and learning how to use these tools. That's just one of the things that you have to realize is, you know, the wax is going to repel your alcohol or your water base or whatever you're going to do, and it might create a really cool effect. I don't know, but either way, I think that's where I'm going to land today as far as day 4 of my Inktober fun, right? Like I said, not every one of these can be a complete and utter hit. Right? You know, we try our best, but sometimes your best is not good enough, Harry. That's what I see him saying. A little bit of shadow here, a little shadow here, come around. I still want to put an umbrella right there. Oh gosh. I want to put an umbrella right there. don't know, it couldn't be an umbrella. I don't know, that would make it funny. You know what? Screw it. I don't care. I don't care. La, 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 ah, 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 ah. Why does that tickle me so? Oh, why does that tickle me so? I just don't know. He's like, color that in to kind of separate it. And maybe we'll have the highlight up there. Right? Yeah, that's what I like. I like kind of an indication of a highlight. There we go. We'll just fill that in slightly. He's like, Harry, do you like mixed drinks? Harry Potter. Anywho, thank you guys for visiting the channel. Like and subscribe if you like what you see. Visit back every single day during the week in the normal rotation. I'll be making a video Monday through Friday, and I will be showing you the warm-ups. This particular point in time in October, I'll be making a video probably every single day for Inktober. Definitely share, and like I said, I'm trying to grow the channel. And once it gets to a point, who knows, you know? Who knows what's going to happen with this little channel? I'll give him some dark circles under his eyes. Maybe some shadow underneath. Right? Need a shadow on this side. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's good. There we go. Here. Yeah, there we go. We'll have this come around. Right. There we go, because that highlight's nice and bright on the top. And then we'll have this come around and have this like this. It's kind of creepy. That voice is my creepy voice, right? We'll have this shadow down here, and it'll be like this. Of course, then we have, you know, your Joker. Fantastic. I love your drawings. Indeed. Okay, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.